It's 1966. Mossad pulled off what seemed impossible. They tricked an Iraqi pilot into flying a top secret Soviet MiG-21, the deadliest fighter jet in the world, straight into Israeli hands. It was called Operation Diamond, but what if that was just the story they wanted us to believe? What if the MiG was just a distraction and Mossad's real mission was something the world still isn't allowed to talk about? Let's start with what we are told. The MiG-21 was the crown jewel of the Soviet Air Force. Fast, agile, deadly. By the mid-60s, it had become the backbone of the Arab air forces surrounding Israel. To survive, Israel needed to know how the MiG worked, its blind spot, weaknesses and capabilities. So Mossad launched Operation Diamond, a recruitment mission to find a pilot willing to defect and deliver one of these jets. Their prize, Munir Radfa, a Christian Iraqi pilot disillusioned with Baghdad's regime. Mossad promised him safety, money and asylum for his family if he flew the MiG to Israel, and in August 1966 he did. The world was stunned. Israel now had its hands on the Soviet Union's most advanced warplane. NATO allies cheered, the Soviets were humiliated, but then the silence began. Here's why the conspiracy begins. Intelligence historians began asking questions. Why was Radfa, a low-ranking pilot, given access to such a high-value aircraft, that also unsupervised? How did Mossad manage to smuggle his entire family out of Iraq days before the mission without a single alert? And why did the Israeli government waited for years to acknowledge the operation? Some former CIA officials whispered that Radfa never flew the jet alone, that Mossad had inside men in the Iraqi Air Force, that the MiG wasn't just stolen, it was gifted in exchange for something far more valuable. But what? Here's the theory I came up with. The MiG-21 was just a bait. The real prize was Soviet avionics, encryption systems and radar frequencies embedded inside it. It wasn't just a plane, it was a flying Trojan horse carrying Russian military codes used across the Eastern Bloc. Some even claim that the Operation Diamond was a joint op between Mossad and the CIA.
The 5th, 1967 at 7:45, 180 fully armed jets took off for a surprise attack on the Egyptian air bases. The Israeli government realized that the chance of surviving a coordinated attack led by the more powerful enemy was nil, and decided that the attack was the best defense.
Within 6 months of the MiG's arrival in Israel, NATO warplanes had detailed MiG-21 blueprints. US pilots were trained against it in Nevada's secret bases, and Israeli jets suddenly started dominating Soviet-equipped Arab air forces in a way that shocked the entire world. Coincidence or something even darker? Let's dive deep into it. What if Mossad's mission wasn't just tactical but psychological? A way of saying, we can infiltrate your allies, we can hijack your secrets, and there's nothing you can do about it. Sources claim that shortly after Operation Diamond, 2 Soviet advisors in Iraq were recalled and mysteriously vanished. Others suggest Mossad planted disinformation into the MiG before leaking access to US intel, a masterclass in counter-espionage. But there's more. Some Israeli analysts believe that Operation Diamond was never declassified in full because it contains elements still too sensitive to reveal even today. Elements involving double agent, high-level bribes, and possibly a planned Soviet response that never came.
I think that within a short time, a very short time, one won't be able to distinguish between defensive and offensive operations.
Isn't it a fact that if the Arabs really were going to attack you, if you were going to survive, you'd have to strike first and take the initiative?
Yes.
In 1967, just 1 year after Operation Diamond, Israel launched the Six-Day War. The dominated Arab air forces, all flying Soviet aircrafts, were destroyed with stunning ease. The MiG-21's weaknesses were fully exploited. Radar jamming, blind spots, everything worked like Mossad had been training for this moment for years. Some say Operation Diamond decided that war before it even began. But here's the twist. To this day, no photos of Radfa's landing exist. His testimony was limited and Mossad never released a full mission file. In fact, some believe that MiG that landed wasn't even Radfa's, that a replica was built and used for the media, while the real plane was disassembled and shipped straight to US, piece by encrypted piece. Operation Diamond is more than just a stolen jet story, it's a code, hidden behind layers of silence and pride. Was it a triumph of Israeli intelligence, a CIA-backed heist, or a global bait and switch that rewrote Cold War dynamics? We may never know, because in the world Mossad operates in, truth is optional, silence is scared, and some missions never truly end. Subscribe to Leaders Unfolded, where the power is peeled back and the untold becomes unforgettable.